When we were designing the house, we had a lot of conversations about what are we going to do about the closets.
The only brand that I had heard of was California Closets. It was sort of synonymous with closets, and probably because it's local, and that made it even more attractive to us.
To me, I don't know that there's really any other option. Really, no other names even come to mind. I mean, California Closets is synonymous with personalization of your closet space.
The only thought I had was to call California Closets. I really didn't think about, well, we had walked through one of the big box stores that show the closet layouts and all that kind of thing, but after I actually talked to California Closets, I felt like I was really going to end up with the product that I wanted with people who would stand behind that product.
When I met with Tanya, she was very good about just listening to what I had going on in my life, what my needs were, and just creating what would work. She was thinking about my house as much as I was thinking about my house.
It's a collaboration of working together and, just sort of discussing the goal and how to use the space and really merging the form and function to get the most out of it.
It was refreshing to work with people that didn't want to simply impose their ideas on us as owners or architects. It was very much a collaborative process.
I try to set it up so that they can just ease into looking at the space, looking what's possible, and then fine-tuning it and setting it up so that it'll work for them.
We had a lot of fun actually sitting down with Bob and talking about it and talking about where we wanted our workout clothes to go and where we wanted our dress-up clothes to go. And so it was a great balance. I think I brought the functionality to it, and Bob brought his professional expertise and his knowledge about closets and all the great little special accessories and things that California Closets does.
I was at somewhat of a loss in terms of how the layout would work, but when I talked to Darcy at California Closets, she helped me look at the space in a different way that would be able to maximize the linear footage of the closet and have it be adequate for two people. The materials that we used, that was easy. The layout, that's where I required the expertise, and that's what I received.
I think it's really important to collaborate with the customer and to establish their goals. And so collaborating through the CAD design really helps to be able to show them what it's going to look like finished.
It really gives a view so that a customer can get an idea of what it'll be like standing in the space, because for most people it's hard to translate a two-dimensional rendering and get a sense of how you'll actually function in it. But with the 3D CAD, it really gives you that option to tour around and give people a general idea of how large the space is and how it fits.
I was expecting that it would be all two-dimensional or it would be three-dimensional wireframe, but to be three-dimensional in solid rendering and then being able to animate it and be able to move around the space was more advanced than I imagined. They're rooms, they're not really closets, and so, like everything, you want to really understand the look and feel and the spatial relationships within the room. And so we made a lot of decisions after we saw the three-dimensional rendering.
When working with customers, whether we're designing a closet itself or many areas in the home, we need to remember that it's not just a place for them to put away stuff. It's a place, they're living in their homes, they're doing things every day, whether it's, they love to cook and they need a big pantry and they need accessible items, or they love to scrapbook like this room. And so, those are things that we like to take into account when we're designing not just a place, but, someone's home.
But you're also putting together a puzzle of all of the things, the space, the aesthetic, and this is somebody's life. They're going to be in there every day, multiple times a day. And so it's really sort of an intimate conversation that you have and talking about all of those details.
Everything in a closet should be visible and everything should be accessible. Even things in the farthest corner of a closet shouldn't be hidden away.
In today's chaotic world, it's very comforting to go into a place like our master closet now is and have a sense of order and have a sense of symmetry. I like things being ordered. I was very nervous because the installation was coming at a time where we had already done a lot of the painting.
I was worried about the walls, I was worried about the floors, I was worried about the size of the crew.
And I just had, nightmares about what it may be like in terms of chaos.
And they came in and just were incredibly respectful. They protected the floors without having to be asked. They were quiet when the baby was sleeping. There were not any dings in the walls. I could tell that there was a lot of work that had been done on the front end. And then when they arrived at the house, they staged it all downstairs, and it was very methodical how it all came together.
They were very professional. They did a lot of floor protection and wall protection. It took them a while to get all the material into the house, understandably. But once they got it into the house, the assembly of the closets and the installation of the closets, in fact, they were ahead of schedule at the end of the second day. They had a plan, they had the approved drawings, they knew what went where, but at the same time, they knew that there was some flexibility in terms of, do you really want this thing here, or is that light in the right place? And they were able to adapt quickly. It was quite an operation.
I was very pleasantly surprised by just how high quality it looks and it feels. I mean, there's weight to it. Also the quality of the sliders on the drawers and the valet rods and the belt racks. I mean, it all feels very solid.
It's not lightweight, hollow material. It's solid material. And then the look and feel is very true to natural wood grain, not only in color but in texture.
The quality is great. We only wanted very nice quality things in our home, and the quality of the product is on par with everything else that we have in our home, and we're very happy with it.
There isn't a single mother that doesn't walk in and say, oh, you need to pick up this room and organize. One thing that I do appreciate is that there's a logical place where certain things go, and so they know how to do it.
We were fearful that we wouldn't be able to fit all of our stuff in, whether it be the closets or the built-in cabinetry, and have been very surprised at how efficient some of the spaces are. And also the location of the drawers and the pull-out valets and where those things are located so that they're convenient and workable.
It's very useful for me. Every space is set up for all those things that I need them for all of the uses that I'd be using the room for, and I don't have to clean up one to move to the next, which is great.
It's nice to have that sense of organization in the closet instead of trying to cram stuff into a place where it wasn't designed specifically for that type of clothing. It just makes it real easy.
The room feels like everything is in place. It's in order, things are put away, the floor isn't cluttered. It's nice to come home to.